are you coming?
Whenever T2 invites me,
I remember.
So my journey with Lakme Fashion Week is a very emotional journey because my first show at Lakme Fashion Week in the year 2000 was I took my grand finale. So it was me, Reena, Dhaka and Rohit at the Taj Hotel. And I think it was at the first ever Fashion Week, which was Yash Chopra and lots of the actors on the front row. So that whole, that the film industry be coming to see the show was something that I started. When I launched my brand in 2005 and I started doing shows, I think people felt I came from the world of costumes. And yes, I make clothes, but I think consistently being at Fashion Week, making clothes, learning from my mistakes, learning about shows, and consistently being at fashion shows, doing fashion shows at Fashion Week, somewhere consolidated my position and me as a serious designer in mainstream. Oh, he does a lot of films, but he also does so many shows at Fashion Week, which means he's making so many clothes, which means they're selling. Okay, Fashion Week is always calling him. So I think it really helped me construct, the seriousness of my brand that yes, we mean business. So for me, Lakme Fashion Week is home, and it's been a consistent supporter and believer. And I'm only grateful, and that's why I'm so happy to be here. We're all celebrating 25 years of Indian fashion. I'm so happy Lakme Fashion Week and FDC have now become one, because that's another thing that I always propagandized. And there's always one. The propaganda thing is the wrong word. It's always one thing that I always thought. I always spoke about. That they should come together. It should be one entity because India is so culturally rich and there's so much talent here, and we should consistently support young designers. I'm always there for the Gen Next show, and I think for designers who are now senior and who've been working here should support young designers, should support fashion weeks. And I think it's so happy today. It's the community of designers and artists and artisans who are here today to celebrate the 25 years of Fashion Week at the Ghana. And as a fashion designer, and a costume designer, I would always support the design community.
And you are somebody who lets the women be bold and sexy, but at the same time, to come up with something so beautiful made with straps. How do you maintain that balance?
I think I'm involved in big movies and famous girls, and what I saw in the late 70s that's going up, I felt all the women at that time. Well, of course, everyone who just looked pretty, but still had a very definite style. There was always a strength in the actresses or best figures in their performances, it really looked. I think that really is so sweet. And in the 90s, when I stepped into the world of my race, which the late 80s saw a different light, the style, technical. It's in my, I came to that teen that I want to change it. Then in Jewish by the 60s and 70s, get all that beauty back area, all the pastel colors, the chiffon, core of it, and also come with a very definite look. And I think that became my style of fixing modern little. And at that time, we did really things that we were, all the movies that we did from Kabhi, Khushi, Kabhi, Gham, to Dilwale, to Kuch, Hota, all those movies that we were actually, using big wedding function called the Sakis. It's only after the scourge of Sangeet started.
We thank you for that.
No, I know.
Even at South of India and any part of India that has these lavish sangeets, we thank you for
No,
that.
it's always wonderful filmmakers and Aditya Chopra, Dhananjay, all of them. And then I enjoyed dressing them up. And I think that I always loved that twist of modern and tradition. So you might have Kareena Kapoor wearing the sharara, that asymmetrical chausta. And I didn't realize, but what happened was that in his films, another big cages all across, all the young growing up kids who they're very Sovietical at home, but they were in schools and colleges which were very important. And so my work started getting a balance of both. So the parents were happy. So I think that's what became our style, and that's what actually is the style to it's a very strong style from India or the group. I think because I don't come from any kind of strong fashion education. I'm a risk taker. And for me, I don't fear failure because I feel every day is not Sunday. Sometimes you are successful, and sometimes you don't know. You fail, you make mistakes, and it's absolutely fine to make mistakes. I think I come from a very strong family validation that my family came with me to this aesthetic or design, but still they were very with me. And I think that also support matters at times. And for me, um, I was hell bent on working a big hard for the artisan. And that meant working extra hours and not being paid for it. But I was okay with that. And when it came to starting a label, I never even thought of going into business of fashion. Because I thought I'd always be a costume designer and stylist. But when the offers started coming home, like, to do wedding clothes, I was like, no, I make clothes for movies. But at one moment of my time in Korea, I said, the Bible that started it when it is about so popular. And a lot of people are copying the clothes, so maybe I should start a business. But I started in clothes. Till a time came when I had to pay a lot more attention because it's a business trip and I had to release my footwork. But all along, I was willing to take that chance. So when I entered mainstream fashion, uh, I actually made probably mistakes, and I think, but in that course of my journey, I introduced a lot of elements which I didn't realize at that time, but I was returning to, which was the showstopper concept, which is only in India. And when we introduced it, Urmila worked for my first show because I had done Reena with her, and I was the front row of film stars. Because I worked with that. They did also at my fashion show, they were, and then I just came. So that's it. The entire element of showstoppers that we're seeing at Fashion Week for a 12th row audience or dressing them up for the red carpet was something that I started. And when first I started with brand, I was not sure. And I started with like swimwear, gown and dress and sari and everything. But slowly I realized, no, I need to have a story. And that's when I went into a lot more gradual wear and it with that, okay? I want to do work in Delhi. And I was determined to take a big store. So I was the first designer to take a 9,000 square feet store in Delhi. And today, I was the first designer to take a store there. And that area today has 32 designers. Then has to take that risk. And I don't think it's only in fashion, but even like if you're passionate about something, you have to take that trust. And then I want to start Trade. It didn't work out. I said, okay, someday I started. I wanted to corporatize that business and change it around, and it's literally happened as we can change it later. So I think that I've done. And yeah, that's what it is. I stayed in that, like becoming a producer.
Yeah.
Which is something that talked to Cohen. And I think for me, we couldn't expect clappers, films, and big stars, all of it. And I was like, no, I will start a collection company which supports new storytellers, different ideas. In fact, one actress friend of mine, when I called her for the film, one of the films, she said, this is not you. So are you really want to do this? And I was like, yeah, I want to do this. But it's not your kind of film. I said, that's exactly. I said, Lisa, I want to make those movies which probably will take a lot of my time. So I think storytelling has no boundaries and no time.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, that we have to be fluid. I think after COVID, today is your ex. I think you're fine accepting a designer making film or cheating, look at clothing and all that. I think they're accepting each other. Fashion's taken such a big change. Food industry has taken years and been born. They've conducted some amazing active food has really taken set scale after COVID. So I think we are so much not accepting of various changes.
35 years of creativity in business, 20 years, and then 25 years in cinema, 20 years as a designer. Do you give yourself facts on that? Do you celebrate that?
Oh, if I stop doing that, then I think really over. Because I feel that I still have so much to do. And what I'm really, I would say I'm happy about is that every morning I wake up and I have lots of things to do. So I was one person who likes to be busy and takes on a lot more, sometimes a lot more than I can even do. and that causes a lot of stress. But I absolutely love to.
And I'm not familiar for Instagram, one of the highest, not one of the highest, the highest in Asia. What's your Instagram game? Give us the lowdown. Come on.
I never consider that just beside beauty first for the other side of it, and now made it fine tuning. But social media is a place where I saw a lot of potential. I don't know. I think it's my taste is worked for me many a times, and I think most of the time. And I saw a lot of that. It's true. And I saw a lot of potential in social media. I'm also pretty way with personally. I love people. I love to meet people. I like to hear people, and I think that's social media did that for me. And I saw as on the first design, that's just you learn, you get you, and maybe that's why they're more than you put it for me. So you it's benefits.
Yeah. Do you explore trends on Instagram? Do like
And it tries is something that Whippies is new.
Yeah.
And I see it's a great platform. I'm not joined to this even I'm more to stamp because I think it's a very interesting but people are speaking, it's getting comments from people, it's getting feedback instantly, and you will know what they have to say about your work or what they're feeling. It's interactive. I think it's the future for sure.
yeah. What are some of your best practices or it's different that you have realized as an MM5?
I think very importantly on Instagram you have to be yourself. For example, I'm very big in grammar bias and I'm terrible with my spellings.
And luxury fashion digitally, what's the role it plays, like the digital?
I think it plays a very common role because you understand the insights of the brand or the designer, you understand what they're trying to say, but the audience is very intelligent. You can't fool them with just great gloss stories or reels. They can see that. So I feel honesty and be organic yourself like what you are is what I.
I think you're one of the major contributors to how a luxury fashion has changed the detail. Uh, what are the changes that you'd see? Because like in the Indian luxury market has undergone tremendous transformations. So how has it changed?
I think the first thing is a bit see culturally India is very rich, tradition, culture, architecture, textile. We had all,
Yeah.
and I think this the best key designers have always got their parties, most of them parties are really. But today there are some young talents. We have good fashion designers, storytellers who be teaching them to work all over the world. So the world's doing it in there,
Yeah.
right? And I think our is uploading it to show our textile, take it all over the world, a feature global platform. I think it's a great time right now.
Yeah. Instagram and threads especially has a lot of, I would say, feedback. People are so ready to in a very emotional way express how they feel about a certain thing. Has that ever inspired your design process?
Well, I wouldn't say it's inspired, but as I think feedback is always good, whether it's from a friend, from a client. So it's positive feedback. Sometimes it gets critical, and even in criticism, there's always something that you could take. And if it's going too much cup space, and just leave that.
Favorite color palette this season?
So, I would say more cup.
But yeah, that's almost clear. And one fashion trend you wish would make a comeback.
I think lots of classic is a black and white is something really classic. The sari, the classic sari is always able to stay. But I'm very fond of classics.
I don't know the Bollywood Glamour clips can come back.
Then there's I think to size also went to a big change. I did take a makam sari or you see different versions. But to me still, that classic sari J2 is a favorite.
Describe your personal style in 3 words.
Silver, black always, and classic.
Choose a favorite. I miss Kolkata.